beginning our day. And sometimes people give dana and they want to be very modest. They don't want to be knowing that they're giving the dana, but then it always gets found out anyway, especially when you're very humble and modest. And that's what we call polishing the Buddha's back. It's something that there was a previous king of Thailand talked about quite a bit, that a good way to be is you just polish the Buddha's back, you clean behind the shrine. So your actions don't get seen, but you work behind the scenes and keep things going behind the scenes. That's really the kind of thing that keeps the monastery going. So if we only want to polish the Buddha's front, then we might be, advertising ourselves on Facebook. I gave this dana, and wasn't it amazing? And then somebody else wants to one-up us and give a bigger dana. And or we can polish the Buddha's back and just quietly support. And for myself, that feels so much more fulfilling and peaceful as well. So there was this minister that he was known for polishing the Buddha's back in Thailand, where he would just work behind the scenes for the previous king, and he never really received any recognition or really any promotions or whatever. And then he was kind of a little bit like maybe wanting a little bit of recognition, at least a little bit of something for all the work he's doing, as he worked really hard behind the scenes to keep things going. And then he went to the king, and the king said, well, your thing is polishing the Buddha's back. And he said, but if you polish the Buddha's back long enough, eventually it spills over to the front. And eventually people do notice what you're doing. So I found that to be very true. Longpa Liam is another one. He doesn't do special things to say, he doesn't give special blessings or do special things for people. He doesn't go out of his way to do that. But the parami, or the work he's done in his life, just speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. So, and you can feel that from Longpa Liam. When he gives a blessing, he doesn't inflect his voice in any special way or do anything particularly special, which would be getting it would be a superficial, adding a superficial aspect to the blessing if we make it sound better or more sing-songy to sound more impressive. But when Longpa Liam gives a blessing, you can just feel the parami. His parami speaks for itself. So eventually, when we work behind the scenes long enough, or we do something long enough, maybe it hasn't been noticed, maybe we haven't been seen by others, but eventually the years go by and we keep plugging away, we keep practicing, and then it spills over to the front, and then people start to take notice. Even if we still want to have people not take notice, it's just natural that eventually you receive some sort of recognition for doing good deeds, good works. When Ajahn Mahabua visited Wat Pah Nanachat, the first thing he did is he went straight to the shrine and he went behind it, and he looked around behind the shrine to see how clean it was. So some of these greatest Ajahns, that's what they look for. They're not looking for if we look good on the surface, but they're looking what are the qualities. So usually we want to just keep clean the things that are going to be seen or look good on the outside. But and there's always something on the inside we don't want to reveal, we don't want people to look at, and that's pretty much the same for everybody. There'll always be something we don't reveal, we don't want to talk about, and that we might feel there's a unbeautiful quality that I might have that people don't want to see, so I don't want to I don't want that to get seen. I don't want that to get revealed. But that's exactly what polishing the Buddha's back is referring to, is actually addressing those things, actually looking for the dirtiest point and polishing it, cleaning it. Look for the filthiest point and make it the cleanest point. And that's a really excellent way to practice, a really excellent way to be. So it's kind of a reflection for this morning.